The emergency medical transport materialized in the Galactic Combat Academy's trauma bay at 8:47 station time, and Station Commander Jotaro knew immediately something was catastrophically wrong. The Korvax, three-time Velkarn combat champion, the fighter who'd single-handedly held the proving grounds against 12 challengers simultaneously, was screaming. Not the battle cry of his warrior species, but genuine, primal agony. His legs bent at angles that defied skeletal structure. Both arms hung limp. The medical readouts scrolling across the transport pod's display made Jotaro's secondary heart skip. 17 distinct fractures, 3 completely shattered joints, severe tissue trauma, possible spinal compromise. "What happened?" Jotaro demanded as the medical team swarmed the pod. The transport pilot, a young Andraxian named Vexia, looked genuinely shaken. "Training accident, sir. Incident report says, contact with human trainee." According to YouTube analytics, 99.6% of viewers are not subscribed. That's a huge number. By subscribing the channel that is completely free, you'll help support the channel and never miss fresh content. Jotaro's mandibles clicked in disbelief. Contact? What kind of contact causes this to a Velkarn warrior? According to the report, sir, he tried to trip her. The words hung in the recycled air like a spatial anomaly. Jotaro pulled up the incident file on his wrist display. Human trainee, Mia Garcia, species designation, Homo sapiens, origin world. Earth, Class 12 Deathworld, extreme hazard. Occupation, fitness instructor applicant. The medical scan attached showed 0 injuries. 0. Not a bruise, not a scratch, not even elevated stress hormones. "Where is she now?" Jotaro asked. "Cafeteria level, sir. She asked where she could get lunch." Jotaro's tertiary heart joined the other two in accelerated rhythm. A Velkarn champion lay broken in medical, and the human who'd somehow caused it was looking for lunch. "Get me the security footage, now, and summon Zillax from biomechanics. Tell him it's priority alpha." 10 minutes later, Jotaro stood in the security monitoring station, watching the footage for the 3rd time. Zillax, the station's senior biomechanics specialist, watched beside him with all 4 eyes fixed on the screen. The training mat, standard sparring drill, 20 species, various combat disciplines, running through basic technique demonstrations. Mia Garcia, human female, approximately 165 centimeters tall, 68 kilograms, moving through a simple footwork pattern, nothing aggressive, just basic training movement. Then Korvax approaching from her left. The Velkarn fighting stance was unmistakable, weight distributed, muscles coiled, the predatory focus of a species bred for combat. He swept his leg in a classic trip maneuver, a technique so fundamental it appeared in combat training across 47 known civilizations. His armored shin, dense with Velkarn bone structure that could crack starship hull plating, connected with Mia's calf. The human's leg didn't move. The sound on the recording was sickening, a sharp crack that echoed through the training facility. But it wasn't Mia's bone breaking. It was Korvax's ankle shattering on impact, like striking reinforced duraplast with bare bone. Momentum carried him forward. His 140-kilogram mass collided with Mia's side at full force. She stumbled slightly, just slightly, her arms windmilling for balance. Then she stabilized, looked down at Korvax with an expression of mild confusion, and kept walking. Korvax bounced off her like he'd hit a stationary wall. He tumbled backward, his already shattered ankle twisting further. His arm, extended to break his fall, crumpled when it hit the mat. His shoulder dislocated from the torque. His ribs, 2 of them, fractured from the secondary impact. Mia paused, turned around. "Hey, you okay?" Her voice on the audio, casual and concerned. Then to the instructor, "Where's the cafeteria again?" Jotaro froze the footage. "Explain this. Use small words because my brain is refusing to process what I just witnessed." Zillax's primary manipulator tentacles twitched, a sign of extreme agitation in his species. Commander, I've run the calculations 17 times. The force required to inflict those injuries on a Velkarn warrior. He pulled up a holographic display showing biomechanical stress analysis. Approximately 4,000 psi of impact resistance. The human female has a mass of 68 kilograms. She wasn't even braced for impact. She was mid-step, weight distributed casually, no defensive posture whatsoever. And yet Korvax shattered himself on her like she was reinforced steel. Not like, Commander. The impact resistance readings are equivalent to reinforced steel. Zilax zoomed in on Mia's leg at the moment of contact. Her muscle density, bone structure, even her casual stance. This violates 17 established principles of carbon-based physiology. Jotaro felt his diplomatic training warring with his survival instincts. Get me every piece of data we have on human physiology, and someone find this Mia Garcia. I need to understand what we're dealing with before... Commander? Vexia's voice crackled over the comm. The human is here. She's asking if she needs to fill out additional paperwork. Mia Garcia sat in the station commander's office looking mildly annoyed and very hungry. She'd been promised lunch 2 hours ago, and the protein bars in her bag were meant for post-workout recovery, not meal replacement. The alien commander, Jotaro, according to his name badge, kept staring at her like she'd grown a second head. So, she said, trying to be helpful, am I in trouble? Because the incident report I filled out was pretty straightforward. Guy tried to trip me during drills, lost his balance, fell down. I asked if he was okay, but he just kept screaming, so I figured medical would handle it. Jotaro's mandibles clicked rapidly. The other alien, Zilax, the one with too many eyes and tentacles, pulled up a holographic display between them. Ms. Garcia, Zilax said carefully, we need to understand what happened. For our records, you say Korvax lost his balance? Yeah, Mia shrugged. I mean, I felt him hit my leg, but he just sort of bounced off. Happens sometimes in training. People misjudge distance or timing. She paused. Is he okay? It looked like a pretty bad fall. He has 17 fractures, Jotaro said flatly. 3 completely destroyed joints. He'll be in medical reconstruction for months. Mia's eyes widened. From tripping? Seriously? Do you guys not have, like, calcium supplements or something? That's really fragile bone structure. Zilax made a sound like escaping hydraulics. Ms. Garcia, Velkarn's skeletal composition can withstand impacts that would pulverize most known species. Korvax was a champion fighter. His bones are denser than armored plating. Huh, Mia processed this. So when he hit my leg... He shattered his ankle on contact, Jotaro confirmed, then suffered multiple additional fractures when he collided with your torso and fell. Oh shit, Mia sat forward. Is that why everyone's been weird? I thought maybe I had food on my face or something. She laughed, though it sounded slightly nervous. Look, I really didn't mean to hurt him. I honestly barely felt it. Like a little bump, you know? I figured he just slipped on the mat. Zilax pulled up another display, a full-body scan. Ms. Garcia, we took the liberty of running a medical scan while you were waiting. Standard procedure for incident participants. Your bone density readings initially flagged as equipment malfunction. Yeah, I get that a lot, Mia said. Doctors back home always think the scanner's broken. I just have dense bones. It's pretty normal. Normal, Jotaro repeated. For humans. Well, yeah. I mean, I do CrossFit and trail running, so I'm probably on the higher end, but it's not like I'm some super athlete or anything, just regular fitness stuff. She grinned, although my trainer back home did say I could probably bounce quarters off my calves. Guess she wasn't wrong. Zilax's tentacles coiled tightly. Ms. Garcia, your muscle fiber composition reads as Class 7 combat-grade tissue. Your skeletal structure has the impact resistance of light armor plating. Your resting metabolic state burns energy at rates we associate with active combat readiness. You are not, by any galactic standard, regular. Okay, but by Earth standards, I'm pretty average. Maybe slightly above average. I can do like 20 pull-ups, but my friend Jessica can do 30. Mia paused. Wait, are you saying other species can't do pull-ups? Jotaro and Zelax exchanged what Mia was learning to recognize as the human is doing it again. Look. Ms. Garcia, Jotaro said slowly, most species in the galactic community cannot safely experience their own planet's gravity without medical intervention. We use artificial gravity generation, carefully calibrated atmospheric pressure, controlled environments. You come from a planet with 1.3 standard gravities, wildly variable atmospheric pressure, exposure to solar radiation that would sterilize most worlds, and an oxygen concentration that is mildly toxic to 60% of known species. Huh. Mia filed that away under weird space facts. So what you're saying is, we're tough? You are walking weapons systems, Zelax said bluntly. Your species evolved in conditions that would kill most life forms within hours. You think of your physiology as normal because you have no frame of reference. Every moment you exist, Ms. Garcia, you are under strain that would crush or poison or irradiate most beings in this station, and you have adapted so thoroughly that you consider it just how things are. Mia leaned back in her chair. The chair creaked ominously. Everyone froze. She leaned forward again. Sorry, I keep forgetting things here are more delicate. Is that the right word? It will suffice, Jotaro said dryly. Ms. Garcia, I need you to understand something. Korvax attacked you. That sweep wasn't an accident. It was a deliberate combat technique meant to take you down and establish dominance. He targeted you specifically because humans are new to the Academy, and he wanted to prove that your species wasn't as formidable as the rumors suggested. Oh, Mia's expression hardened. So he was being a dick. Essentially, yes. And he fucked around and found out. A small smile played at her lips. You know what? I'm less sorry now. Still sorry he's hurt because I'm not a monster, but play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? He attempted to harm you, Zelax said carefully, and instead destroyed himself on your body's passive defenses. My passive, Mia started laughing. Full belly laughs that made her whole body shake and the chair creak again. Oh my God. Passive defenses, like I'm some kind of video game character. She wiped her eyes. Okay. So what now? Do I get expelled for being too sturdy? Should I bubble wrap myself? Wear a warning sign? Jotaro's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. We need to completely restructure our safety protocols. You're not the only human applicant, Ms. Garcia. We have 12 human trainees currently enrolled. If they all possess similar physiology. They probably do, Mia confirmed. I mean, some people are stronger or faster or whatever, but yeah, most humans are pretty durable. We kind of have to be. Earth is kind of a nightmare planet if you're not built for it. Zelax was already pulling up files. 12 humans, all tested at Class 7 or higher combat grade physiology, all completely unaware they register as biological weapons systems. He looked at Jotaro. Commander, we need to notify the Galactic Training Authority immediately. This isn't just an Academy issue, this is a universal safety concern. Agreed. Jotaro started typing rapidly. Ms. Garcia, I need to ask you something. How many times has this happened? Humans accidentally injuring other species through normal interaction? Mia thought about it. I mean, there was that time on Rigel 7 when I broke the rock climbing wall, and my friend Olivia accidentally crushed a door handle at the transit station because she was stressed, and Charlotte said she dented a medical bed just by sitting on it. Oh, and Emma broke a restraining harness just by leaning back. She paused. Okay, saying it out loud, it sounds like we're really clumsy or something. Or incredibly dangerous, Zelax muttered. We're really not trying to be, Mia protested. It's just, everything out here is so fragile. Like, weirdly fragile. Do you guys never bump into stuff? Never grab something without thinking? It's exhausting constantly monitoring my strength. Jotaro felt several pieces click into place. You're always restraining yourself. Well, yeah. Otherwise I'd break everything I touch. Learned that on day 3 when I shook hands with that nice Phanarian ambassador and apparently squeezed too hard. She yelped. Mia grimaced. Felt terrible. Been super careful ever since. Mostly. Except you can't be careful during combat training, Zilax said, because combat requires instinctive response. Right. So when Buddy Boy tried to take me down, my body just did what it's trained to do. Stay standing, maintain balance. Don't fall. Mia spread her hands. I literally just stood there. He's the one who decided to attack me. Jotaro pulled up Korvax's medical file, specifically the trauma physician's notes. The attending physician noted that Korvax kept repeating something. He said you looked at him with concern and pity, that you asked if he was okay. Because he was screaming. Of course I asked if he was okay. Ms. Garcia, you accidentally inflicted career-ending injuries on a champion warrior by simply existing in his path, and your first response was concern for his welfare. Yes, because I'm not a sociopath? Mia looked genuinely confused. What else was I supposed to do? Laugh. He was hurt. Zilax's tentacles relaxed slightly. Most warriors, after being attacked, would retaliate, or at minimum show dominance. You showed compassion. He was on the ground with broken bones, Mia said flatly. That's not a threat. That's a medical emergency. Even if he was being a dick before, you don't kick someone when they're down. That's just basic human decency. Jotaro and Zilax exchanged another look. This one carried a different weight. Ms. Garcia, Jotaro said carefully, I think we need to completely reconceptualize how we handle human integration. You're not just physically dangerous, you're also operating on ethical frameworks that assume everyone has your species' durability. You showed mercy because you didn't perceive yourself as having won a fight. You perceived yourself as having accidentally hurt someone weaker. Because I did accidentally hurt someone weaker, Mia said. Look, I grew up with little cousins. You learn real quick to be gentle with smaller, more fragile things. It's not complicated. It is when the smaller, more fragile thing is a champion warrior who attempted assault, Zilax said dryly. Mia's stomach growled audibly. Can we maybe continue this conversation over lunch? I'm starving, and I think better on a full stomach. Jotaro checked the time. The cafeteria should be serving midday meal. Zilax, please accompany Ms. Garcia and observe her interactions. I need to start making calls. Many calls. The Galactic Training Authority Emergency Council convened in virtual space 3 hours later. Jotaro presented his findings to representatives from 47 member species, including the Velkarn High Command. The situation is unprecedented, Jotaro explained, displaying the security footage. We have a species that evolved in conditions so extreme that their baseline physiology exceeds our combat-grade enhancement standards. They don't perceive themselves as dangerous because they've never existed in a context where their normal capabilities pose a threat. High Commander Genix of the Velkarn leaned forward in his holographic representation. You're saying this human female, not even a trained warrior, casually disabled our champion through passive resistance? She wasn't resisting, Commander. She was standing. The injury occurred because Korvax attacked her, and her body simply didn't move the way he expected. A Xantharan counselor raised a manipulator appendage. What are their offensive capabilities? Unknown, Jotaro admitted. Ms. Garcia is a fitness instructor applicant. She teaches stretching and cardiovascular exercise to civilians. She's never trained for combat, yet her physical capabilities surpass 90% of our active military personnel. The chamber erupted in overlapping voices. Jotaro waited for the chaos to settle. There's more, he continued. After the incident, Ms. Garcia expressed genuine remorse. She was concerned for Korvax's well-being, despite him deliberately attacking her. When informed of the severity of his injuries, her first question was whether we had adequate calcium supplements. She thought we were fragile. Ginix's mandibles clacked in disbelief. From her perspective, we are. Earth's baseline gravity is 1.3 standard. They evolved breathing an oxygen concentration that's toxic to most species. Their sun's radiation would sterilize most habitable worlds. They developed intelligence while constantly fighting their own planet's ecosystem. Everything here, our structures, our equipment, our bodies, is fragile compared to what they're accustomed to. Zilax added his analysis. I've reviewed all human trainee files. They're universally stronger, more durable, and more resistant to injury than our existing safety protocols account for. More concerning, they're unaware of this disparity. They think they're being careful. Ms. Garcia has been consciously restricting her strength since arriving and still accidentally breaks equipment regularly. What do you recommend? The council chair being asked. Jotaro had spent the last hour preparing this proposal. Complete protocol revision. First, immediate implementation of species-segregated training for humans. They need facilities built to Deathworld specifications, higher structural integrity, equipment rated for their strength levels. Second, mandatory education for all station personnel. Humans are not fragile. Do not challenge them physically. Maintain appropriate safety distances. Third, revision of our combat curricula to acknowledge that humans possess inherent advantages we cannot replicate through training. You want us to build special facilities and warn people away from humans, Ginix challenged. That's segregation. That's survival, Jotaro countered. High Commander, Korvax will be in medical reconstruction for 9 months minimum. His combat career is over. He attacked a human female who was minding her own business, and he destroyed himself in the process. How many more incidents like this can we afford? The chamber fell silent. Finally, a Qualrian representative spoke. What about the humans? What do they want? Ms. Garcia asked if she should wear a warning sign, Jotaro said. Then she went to lunch and accidentally bent a cafeteria tray trying to open a sealed container. She apologized profusely to the serving staff and offered to pay for damages. She's not a threat. She's simply dangerous by virtue of existing in an environment not built for her species. Then we adapt the environment, the chair being decided. Jotaro, you have authorization to implement your proposed changes. I'm issuing a galactic advisory. Humans are to be classified as Class 12 Deathworld species with inherent defensive capabilities exceeding standard combat ratings. All facilities, accepting human personnel, must update safety protocols accordingly. Ginix's hologram flickered with what might have been embarrassment. I will personally visit Korvax and ensure he understands that his actions were dishonorable. The Velkarn do not support attacking those who pose no threat, regardless of our warriors' pride. Appreciated, High Commander. Jotaro prepared to disconnect. One final note. Ms. Garcia asked if she should pursue meditation instruction instead of fitness training. I'm inclined to agree. The last thing we need is humans teaching other species their exercise routines. Agreed, several counselors said simultaneously. 9 months later, Mia Garcia stood in the newly constructed human training facility, leading her first official meditation class. The room had reinforced flooring, walls rated for starship hull integrity, and furniture built to military specifications. 6 students, all non-human species, sat on cushions 3 meters away from her, learning breathing techniques. And breathe in through your nose, Mia said calmly. Hold for 4 counts. And release. Remember, this is about finding your center, not competing. There's no wrong way to breathe. A Fenarian student raised a tentative manipulator. Instructor Garcia, is it true you once broke a rock-climbing wall on Rigel 7? Yes, but in my defense, it was clearly not rated for my weight. Mia smiled. Next question? Is it true that the Velkarn champion tried to attack you and you didn't even notice? Mia's smile turned slightly mischievous. I noticed. I just didn't think it was effective. Moving on, let's try a body scan meditation. In the observation room above, Jotaro watched with Zilax. The academy had adapted remarkably well to the new protocols. Human trainees now had dedicated facilities. Non-human students learned about Deathworld physiology in mandatory safety courses. Incident reports involving accidental human-caused injuries had dropped from daily occurrences to rare exceptions. "She's good at this," Zilax observed. "Calming, non-threatening despite being, well, threatening." "The humans are adapting too," Jotaro agreed. "They're learning to move carefully, speak softly, exist in our spaces without accidentally destroying things. It's remarkable, really. They're apex predators teaching themselves to be gentle." "Have you heard about Korvax?" "He completed physical therapy last week, still has a limp. He's been giving lectures to incoming Velkarn trainees titled Humility and the Deathworld Species." Jotaro's mandibles clicked in amusement. Apparently, he's become quite philosophical about the experience. "And Ms. Garcia?" "She sent him a care package, calcium supplements, and a handwritten apology note. He keeps it framed in his quarters." Below, Mia concluded the meditation session. "Great work, everyone. Remember to practice daily, and if anyone wants to join my gentle yoga class tomorrow," she emphasized the word gentle. "It's in Facility 3. We'll be working on flexibility and balance. No strength training, I promise." The students filed out, giving her respectful distance. Mia gathered her things, picked up her reinforced water bottle, and headed for the exit. She'd bent another cafeteria tray yesterday, trying to open a stubborn container, but she was getting better. Only 3 broken items this week. Personal record. Her comm chimed. Message from Emma. Heard you only broke 3 things this week. Show off. I broke 5. Earth gravity? When? Mia grinned and typed back. Never. We're stuck in fragile world forever. Try not to break your boyfriend when you hug him. Too late. He says his ribs hurt. I barely squeezed him. That's why I'm staying single until we get back home. Too much stress. She pocketed her comm and headed toward her quarters, passing a group of Velkarn trainees who pressed themselves against the wall as she approached. She'd stopped apologizing for their fear. It wasn't productive, and Jotaro said it made them more nervous. Instead, she just smiled and waved. "Evening, guys. Training. Going well?" They nodded silently until she'd passed, then resumed walking and talking. She caught fragments. "That's the one. Bent a training bar like it was wire. Asked if anyone wanted to learn proper form." Mia sighed. Maybe meditation was the right career path after all. Hard to accidentally break people when everyone was just sitting and breathing. Her comm chimed again. "Jotaro, Ms. Garcia, please report to my office at your convenience. The Galactic Sports Committee wants to discuss human participation in competitive athletics. They have concerns." She typed back, "Let me guess. We're too strong? You would dominate every existing category. They're proposing humans-only leagues. So, segregation. So, fairness. Come by tomorrow and we'll discuss it." Mia pocketed her comm again and laughed, the kind of laugh that made nearby aliens flinch and hurry away. Humans-only leagues. She'd have to tell Emma. They could finally compete without worrying about accidentally hospitalizing someone. She reached her quarters and palmed the door control, gently, having learned that lesson early. Inside, she dropped onto her reinforced bed frame. Standard furniture had collapsed under her on day 2, and pulled out her tablet. Messages from home, pictures of Earth's mountains and oceans and that beautiful, dangerous 1.3G gravity that she missed with an ache in her dense bones. Someday she'd go back. Train in real gyms with equipment that didn't require warning labels, run trails where the gravity made sense, maybe even do pull-ups without worrying the bar would bend. But for now, she was here, in Fragile World, teaching aliens to breathe properly and trying very hard not to break anything important. Her stomach growled, "Dinner time." She stood, stretched carefully. She'd cracked a wall doing this last week, and headed back out. The cafeteria had started serving human-specific portions, double the size of standard meals, after realizing their metabolism required substantially more fuel. She passed a memorial plaque recently installed near the training facilities. Remember, assumptions about weakness may result in severe self-injury. Deathworld species possess inherent danger. Proceed with respect and caution. Mia paused, reading it for the dozenth time. Then she smiled, shook her head, and continued toward dinner. Behind her, 2 maintenance workers were replacing yet another bent door handle. They'd stopped asking what happened. They knew, somewhere in the medical wing, Korvax was doing his physical therapy exercises, learning to walk properly again, thinking about pride and assumptions and a human female who'd asked if he was okay while he lay screaming on the mat. And in the station commander's office, Jotaro was writing another memo, this one titled, Updated Protocol Revision. 47. Why Humans Cannot Participate in Contact Sports with Other Species. It was going to be a long memo. In the cafeteria, Mia loaded her tray with food. Carefully, so carefully, carried it to a table and sat down to eat. The chair held. The table held. Nothing broke. She called that a win and dug into her meal, already planning tomorrow's meditation class and wondering if she should introduce the concept of Tai Chi. Slow, controlled movements, minimal equipment. Low risk of accidental injury, perfect for fragile world. She grinned and took another bite, her dense bones and combat-grade muscles and baseline physiological weapon systems completely hidden beneath 165 centimeters of cheerful fitness instructor who just wanted everyone to breathe properly and maybe do some stretches. The galaxy was still learning what human meant. Mia figured she had time to teach them, one careful, gentle, non-threatening step at a time.